Good afternoon and welcome to our second week of Teach2Reach campaign. I'll be your presenter today and my name is Mike Getza. Today we are talking about revision and lesson. Before we start with our webinar, some few housekeeping rules. The duration of this meeting is 45 minutes. Please switch off the video and please switch off your mic when you are joining the meeting. Your participation and engagement are also highly appreciated. Please raise your hand until we notice you, and then I'll give you a chance to talk towards the end of the meeting. We are going to have our question and answer time at the end of the meeting, and we do send some WhatsApp updates on the WhatsApp group that was created for this campaign. You can access Siyavula on our website, which is www.siyavula.com, using your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, or even a desktop, as long as the phone is connected to your internet, and you can access Chrome, you can access Google or any other search engine that you are using. Our Siyavula platform is zero rated for MTN, Vodacom, and Telkom Mobile. I know there are some of the learners who would say to you that, Sir or ma'am, Siyavula is using up my data. So there I would advise you to check if there are any sites or any apps that are running in the background when learners are trying to access Siyavula, and then we'll have to close them. And then also, another tip that I do use here, I'll go to my search engine. In this case, I'm using Chrome. So I'll come here. I know some of the learners, what they do, they come here on Google and then they will type in Siyavula. And if you type in Siyavula like this, obviously Google will try and find anything that is related to Siyavula. And by doing that, it's going to use up your data. So what I would advise you to do is ask learners to type in on the URL code here, www.siyavula.com, and then it will take them to our zero-rated site, and they'll be able to log in and they will be able to access Siyavula if they are using MTN, Telkom Mobile, or Vodacom. All right, thank you for that. And then moving on. So the theme of this week is revision and lesson. We are going to be talking about how you teachers can integrate Siyavula into your daily teaching and learning by using our set work on Siyavula to do revision, to send classwork, and to send homework. We know a year is divided into terms, which can be 4 terms or it can be 3 terms. We know in those terms you have weeks where you are teaching specific topics, or you are teaching a topic in a couple of weeks, and we also know that the topics are divided into lessons. So we have this nice Siyavula cycle, teaching cycle here that you can use. We are saying you can set revision on Siyavula to introduce a topic, and then you can also present a lesson using Siyavula by sharing some classwork questions with your learners and also sharing some homework questions with your learners. And then after that, you will encourage learners to go and practice or do consolidation so that they can build on that mastery knowledge. And then later on, you can set some assessments to check the understanding of your learners. So we are saying that we are encouraging you to use Siyavula because it saves you time. It's easy for you to find questions. And also you as a teacher, you are able to find a fully detailed report on how learners are doing on that problem. And it encourages learners to go and practice maths, because we know maths is a practical subject where you have to keep on practicing for you to really understand the subject. Moving on to our first part of this presentation, which is all about using revision to check your learners' prior knowledge. So let's say you are a grade 11 mathematics teacher, and then you are working on functions. You know mathematics, it's like you must have a foundation of something before you start engaging on that content that you're going to be teaching. So we have to check the prior knowledge of the learners about their functions, right? So what we can do a diagnostic assessment on Siyavula in class with our learners to check what they understand about functions in grade 11 class. And then a diagnostic assessment activates learners' prior knowledge, and it helps to create strong bonds or strong connections between new and existing knowledge. I think the bonds and strong connections there, the physical sciences teachers now are getting excited because, you know, we do have some bonds in physical science, chemistry, that is. All right, so let's see how we can make a connection or create connection between the strong existing knowledge and strong bonds between new and existing knowledge. Okay, so how do we set a diagnostic assessment in class? So I will go to my Siyavula here. Okay, so you know, as a teacher, what you do, you just log on to Siyavula and then you go to set work. So I'll click on set work and then browse questions here. And then go to mathematics. Let's make an example with mathematics here. So we are saying that I am a grade 11 mathematics teacher who is teaching functions, but there are some information that I want to see if learners do remember about functions from grade 10 point of view. So what I'll do, I'll go and check from grade 10 some of the functions questions, and then I'll scroll down. Let's say maybe I'll make an example with quadratic functions there. So I want to know if my learners actually do understand the quadratic functions, right? So what I will do now, I will just come here, and then if I find this question and I do like this question and I want to check prior knowledge of learners about finding this finding these values here, what I will do, I will click on let's do this question here. Okay, so when you click on let's do this question, it will open the question on the screen for you. I am assuming that you'll be using your laptop or you'll be using your smartboard and then showing the question on the board for learners, and then learners will work in pairs or individually or in groups, and then after that they will work it out on a piece of paper or in their classwork books, and then from there they will give you the answer. So you check what they understand about this content on functions from grade 10 point of view, their prior knowledge on functions. So what you will do there, they say, what is the missing word here? The following table shows input and output values for function f of x equals to x squared. Note that one of the output values is missing. So from there, we see it's missing here. So what we'll do, we'll just type in the answer after we have worked it out on a piece of paper. And then they are saying that there are no negative outputs because negative square roots are non-real. The square cancels negative sign inputs value. Okay, so we can select that, and then from there we click on check the answer. And then remember, Siyavula will mark us automatically. So whether we got the question correctly or wrong, what we do, we can just check on the full solution to see how learners were supposed to work it out and improve on the understanding of this. So again, the teaching has already started and you have already activated the prior knowledge of the learners before you can start introducing the new grade 11 content. So teachers, that's how you activate the prior knowledge of the learners, by doing a diagnostic assessment all together in class. And then moving on to my presentation here, we are saying the second way of activating the prior knowledge of the learners is using the revision exercises from our question bank. So I will also move back here to our question bank again. So what I'll do, remember, I'll come back here and then we click on the new navigation here, set work, we click on the revision here. So remember, we are still on the grade 11 content on functions. So what you do now, you can just simply come to our question bank on grade 11 here, and then scroll down all the way to your functions. And then you see what we have done here. We have included revision on our question bank. So yes, you can just come here and look through our question bank and find the question that you would have wanted to activate the prior knowledge of learners on. So what you do here, you can just find the question that you like, you can just scroll down and see which question you actually like to activate the learner knowledge on. So I will just open this one on parabolic functions here. So you still click on, let's do this question together right now in class, individually or in groups or in pairs. And then the question will be on the board like this. And then the learners will read through the question, and then now they will be able to do the question here. So as you can see here, they're saying, what are the turning points of this question? And then it's very important to read in this message box here. So on the instruction on how you are supposed to write down the answer. So we can say from here, our turning point is maybe, I'm not sure, you'll help me. And then from there, you type in the answer, and then Siyavula will mark you automatically. Remember, your learners will work it out on a piece of paper as a revision. And then from there, you are activating the prior knowledge. And then they say the maximum value of F is what? As you can see, F it keeps on going and going. I hope so. So let's see the answer. And then, if you don't know the answer, obviously, Siyavula will mark you automatically and show you how you were supposed to work out that answer there. All right. And then from there, that's how we activate our learners' prior knowledge using revision. All right. So we have done a live demonstration of how we activate the learner's prior knowledge. All right, so now we are going to be moving on to this second part of our teaching cycle here, which simply talks about how we can present a lesson in class on that topic that we are teaching, which is now in this case, our functions in grade 11 content, but it can be any content that you are teaching. So we are saying that you can go to our browse questions from Siyavula question bank and check questions from browse question there and display them in class and then teach. So how do we do this? All right, let's move on to our live demo again. So you are a teacher, you just simply log on to Siyavula, and once you have logged on to Siyavula, remember you come to set work here, you click on browse questions, and then let's make an example with now physical sciences. So you want to teach new content in class. So what you can do, you can go to our browse questions for our physical sciences here, and then you will come here, and then what you do, you just click on the atoms here, and then from there, you can just find the questions that you want to show in class as a classwork. So what you do, you just click here, you open the question, and then once you have opened the question that you like, what you do, you click on, let's do this question here. And then sometimes it does tell you where the question was adapted from. And as you can see, this one was adapted from the grade 11 final year paper for TBE here in 2015. So they say the number of nucleons in neutral atom of this magnesium here is what? And then from there, obviously, learners will work it out on a piece of paper. And then from there, they will just select the question, the answer, and then they will be able to get marked automatically. Whether you got the answer right or wrong, Siyavula will explain to you on how you were supposed to do it. And once you have received the answer, or you have read through this, you can always click on, let's try this exercise again. And then it will generate another question that is similar to that one, but then it also like, remember our Siyavula content is generated, so it's gonna generate like different questions from there, and then now learners will be able to work it out on a piece of paper, and then after that they will be able to give you an answer. Oh, so I'm one of those learners who are very slow in class, but with Siyavula, if I keep on reading, I will be able to click on the try this exercise again up until I have gotten the answer to be correct. All right, okay. So moving on again, so that's the first way that we can browse questions from our question bank and then use them in class. And then another way of using Siyavula, part 2 of the presentation, we can assign questions verbally for classwork or for homework. All right, so how do we do this? Assigning of questions verbally for classwork or homework. What we do, we use Siyavula question bank and our Siyavula online questions on the textbooks here, and then we will be able to give learners some questions that they can complete. So let's move on and see where to find this. So let's say you're a teacher, you can just come to our Siyavula navigation here. Once you are logged in as a teacher, we do have our Siyavula textbooks here. You go to textbooks, and then you can go to mathematics, and then from there we'll go to grade 11 here. So once you are here on the textbooks, we have the PDF files that you can download and make copies and give to the learners here. However, we also have our online question. As you know, we are an online practice platform. So on the online textbook here, we'll go all the way down to functions. And then from there, we will find quadratic equations from grade 11 content. And then from there, you can go down. So remember, just like any other textbook, even the Siyavula textbook starts firstly by explaining the functions content. And then what I like about Siyavula is that on these functions here, after learners have read through here, what we have here is the interactive exercises. So if you click here, interactive exercises, we are saying, oh, learners are reading and then understanding and doing some examples under the X and Y intercept here and how to find them. But immediately after that, we are also saying that, how about now you come down here and then you work it out. Let's see what you did understand about the X and Y. And obviously you are going to work it out on a piece of paper and type in the answer in here. And then from there, you'll be able to work it out on a piece of paper and then give in the answer and type them in here. And then we have more and more interactive exercises. And let's say maybe the learners, they type in the answer here and didn't get the answer, or they got the answer right here. Let's see, they worked it out on a piece of paper and they got the answer correctly like we did here. So on the interactive exercises, it's like, you know, those exercises at the end of your exercise book or at the end of the textbook. If learners type in or write in with a pen there, the answer is going to remain there forever. However, if learners want to practice more on this content, you can just write down on a piece of paper this Siyavula question ID here. We are going to be talking more about it later on, 3342. So learners can use this code again and type it in where I'm going to show you, and then they'll be able to practice further on this content. But before we do that, I also want to show you that, let's say you're in class and you run out of questions for your lesson plan. You can just come to the end of chapter exercises here and then just show this on the board for your learners and tell them, please use these questions as your classwork for the next 20 minutes. And then after that, as a teacher, you can just click on the let's show this question and it will give you a fully worked out solution. And you as a teacher, you can just explain to them how they were supposed to get to this solution here. And then from there, you can just say do question 2 for 5 minutes and then explain to them by clicking on show answer there and then how they were supposed to work it out. So Siyavula saves you time. Imagine now you are supposed to work it out yourself, but it's already worked out by the system on Siyavula. So that's it. And then from there, remember I did say that we have some interactive exercises after we would have explained some concepts here. Now we want to check if learners really did understand. So they can just open on these interactive exercises and start answering the questions here. And then another thing that I like about Siyavula, whether they got this answer correct or wrong, they can just take note of this Siyavula question ID here, which in this case, it is question number 3381. And then I will show you just now on where they are supposed to use this question for further practice later on. All right, so we have successfully talked about the interactive exercises and our exercises in our textbooks. Perfect. And then now we are going to be moving on to where we can assign questions verbally for our classwork and homework. So remember those Siyavula question IDs that I talked about, like question 334 and 3381. So you as a teacher, let's say you are in class, you want some extra work for your learners. What you do, now you can just come again to our set work here, go to browse questions and come to mathematics here. And then you will see here on our mathematics question bank, this can be for mathematics or physical sciences. You will just come here, we are still on functions, and then from there, we are working with the quadratic equations. So you see here on the left-hand side here, on the right-hand side here, there are Siyavula question IDs here. So this number 3345 here is a Siyavula question ID. So what you do, you will write down some questions for your classwork or for homework for your learners, and you're going to assign question number 3345 or 3344 to your learners for them to complete as a classwork in class, and then you'll be able to download the report. So where do learners type in this answer? So if you can give me a moment now, you would have been, you as a teacher, firstly, as you are planning your lesson, you come to our Siyavula question bank here and copy some Siyavula question IDs. And then from there, you as a teacher, once you have typed in or you have written down the Siyavula question IDs, the learners are going to also log on to their Siyavula platform, right? So what learners will do, or how they see, if I can just quickly log on to my learner account here on Siyavula. So remember, the Siyavula learner account is simplified and just looks like this. You are easily gonna be able to get to practice for both maths and science and even see some past papers here. And then the homeworks or the assignments that are sent to you, which is something that our colleagues will talk about in the upcoming weeks. So what I was talking about now are those Siyavula question IDs that you are going to be assigning to your learners. So for example, remember we did have Siyavula question ID, which now they will come to here where it's written jump to content, and they will type in question number 3344. And then it should be able to open, you see, it opens the questions under the quadratic functions that learners can simply work on and complete, in class. So that's another way you can use Siyavula, by assigning questions verbally to the learners by just giving them the Siyavula question IDs from our question bank. And once learners have worked out this question here, for example, if they would have worked it out on a piece of paper, so we'll just say, what's the answer for this one? Maybe it's -3, I'm not sure. So we did got the answer correctly. And then from there now, remember you would have given them like 5 Siyavula question IDs. So after that, maybe they will go to question number 4339 like that. And then they can just type it in here, and then you see it opens a question for them, and then they'll be able to work it out on a piece of paper, and then voila, everything is done. And you as a teacher, I'm sure now you are saying, how will I see if learners indeed have completed this section here, or they have completed the question here? All right, we are going to be talking about that now in our presentation here. So then I will go and log on to my teacher account again here. So let me quickly log back to my teacher account. Okay, so once I have logged into my teacher account here, so what I will do as a learner, if I have learners in class, so I will just log on to my Siyavula, and then because now I am not linked to any class here, so those who are linked to classes, they will be able to come to our the classes that they are linked to, and then to see if learners would have completed that question. What they will do, they will just come and click on the topic performance. So it gives you, per that particular topic that you were doing, you can just give learners, come here, and then after you've given learners some Siyavula question IDs, and then from there, to see the report if they would have completed those questions that you have selected for them, what you will do, you'll just come on topic performance there, and then from there, it's very important for you to click on change here so that you can personalize your report. Whether it's year to date, how long do you want the date range of your report, and then you can come here and then do your own selection of the questions. And then from there, this is where now you'll be able to type in the questions that you would have given the learners. So this is a grade 8 class here, as you can see. So obviously we will just select maybe some of the questions that are coming from the grade 8 content here. And then from there, you can just work around with your filters here, and then create a report. And then from creating that report, after you have selected the questions there, it will show you the learners that would have completed that those questions here from the learners that are linked to your class here. And then as you can see, these are all the learners that are linked to the class. And then it will give you a fully worked out report on the learners and what they would have completed here, or who have completed those questions. And then as you scroll down, you can even see the attempts of learners on those questions here. So it gives you a fully worked out report. And then another thing with this, if you click on the actual learner name here, it will give you the actual report on how the learner has done on those questions that you would have selected for them. So the individual report of the learner, it shows it here on when you click on the learner name there. So that's also how you find the report under the check work here. You can just go to that particular grade that you are teaching, and then from there, if you're not linked to the class, you can just go to the whole grade. And then if you are linked to the class, you will go to our topic performance, and then from there it will give you a fully worked out report. And then remember, where do you search the questions? Here under change. I'm just going to repeat what I said, and then you click maybe for the whole year to work on your date range there, and then you click on the selection, and then from there you just type in the Siyavula question IDs that you would have selected for the learners, and then from there you just simply create the report there. All right, so and then from there the report will come down here with the completion of those learners who would have done that work for your classes or for the whole grade if you are using Siyavula from the whole grade point of view. All right, so we are moving on, and now we are just going to take the breather because we are towards the end of our presentation and ask for questions. And then in conclusion, the incentivized activity for this week, we are saying that please help with registration of the learners. We are aiming that you have at least 85% across your registration in classes. Obviously, we do want all the learners to be linked to the classes, which is the aim, because we don't want you to leave anyone behind. And then we want at least 70% of your learners to be practicing. At least means that make it 100% of them practicing, because they have to benefit. And then we are saying share some Siyavula question IDs with your learners and view the report that I showed you, which is the topic performance report. And then also share your best ideas on how you practice, or your best practices on how you use Siyavula with us on WhatsApp, just like our teacher here has shared his best practices with us. All right, so in conclusion, again, our weekly prizes will be announced on Friday, the 12th of May via WhatsApp. And then we will just tell you who has won this week. And then Siyavula Schools WhatsApp line is 0835981624 there. And the theme for next week is learner consolidation. So we will be talking about how learners can go and practice and make sure that they understand. And then another thing, you can follow us on Facebook. We are Siyavula Education. We are also at Siyavula on Twitter and Instagram at Siyavula_education. And we do have a lot of YouTube videos on Siyavula and how you can use Siyavula. So please make it a good habit for you to just go to YouTube and check some videos on Siyavula. And then also our WhatsApp hotline is 0835981624 there. And then with that, I would like to say thank you for joining, or thank you for watching this video if you missed out on the webinar. My name is Maiketsa, and then I am signing out. Thank you.